Good afternoon, Yuba Sutter. You're listening to 1410 AM, The Patriot, and we are the Yuba Sutter Spotlight, live from Washington, D.C. Okay, not really.
Yes, we're the Yuba Sutter Political Spotlight.
Yes, and we're not political servants or public servants. I guess they are political, but anyway, we're not public servants, so we don't get to go to Washington D.C.
Well, it's amazing they would leave us kids here alone, unattended. You'd think the streets would be tore up by the. Oh wait, our streets already are tore up, whether we did it or not.
They're tore up. Yep.
Now, you would think if you're going to D.C. that the water for swimming is pristine there now, right?
Oh, yeah.
No more swamp water.
That's right.
Right?
Sure.
I don't think they've gotten rid of all the swamp water. I think there's plenty.
Still think it's a little slimy.
Oh,
over
yeah.
there.
Yeah, way slimy.
Still a little algae on the edges.
I think they may have went swimming in my pool before they left. But I've got a problem right now with algae, so getting rid of that right now.
Shuck it.
Lots of it.
Yep. Gotta shuck it.
So, what's on the agenda?
Well, let's recap what the week's campaign news, because there were some campaigns events last week that some of us went to, so I think we should talk about that. You know what? We are going to talk about that, but before we talk about that, I do want to remind folks that we have a Facebook, and it's Yuba Sutter Political Spotlight, and if you want to send us a private message during the broadcast, if there's a question you have or a topic you want covered, let us know, and we can look at that.
This is who we are.
Hey, I like that pay schedule, man.
Yeah, we're doing real well.
We're going to double that.
So, when do we get our first check? That's what I want to know.
It's in the mail, buddy.
It is
It's
in the mail.
Yep, check it daily, because you never know. So anyway, back to campaign news. Who wants to jump in about what they heard on the campaign trail this past week?
Oh, boy. It was, 2 in 1 day is getting a little bit much when we have a meet and greet and a debate.
Yeah, there was the Sutter Yuba Association of Realtors and Yuba Sutter Farm Bureau, all candidates meet and greet, and that was over at the Board of Realtors office.
On Star Drive.
Yeah, and then that was, I think, 5 to 7. And then at 6 o'clock, you guys had to jet over to the Chamber of Commerce and Appeal Democrat candidate forum over at the Yuba County Government Building, because they were hosting a forum with the Yuba County assessors and the supervisor candidates. So how'd that go? Let's start off with the Board of Realtors.
Well, let's back up. I'm going to back up 1 week, and I'm going to play a clip from the week before, and then I'll tell you kind of what happened at the Board of Realtors, the forum with the candidates. So I'm going to play this clip from last week real quick.
Okay.
The county is stronger than the private property owner.
In America, you got private property rights, and you don't have the right to tell him what to do with his property.
This is outrageous. Where are the armed men who come in to take the protesters away? Where are they? This kind of behavior is never tolerated in Boracua. You shout like that, they put you in jail right away. No trial, no nothing. Journalists, we have a special jail for journalists.
That's us.
You're stealing, right to jail. You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail. You're charging too high prices for sweaters, glasses. You right to jail. You undercook fish, believe it or not, jail. You overcook chicken, also jail. Undercook, overcook. You make an appointment with the dentist and you don't show up, believe it or not, jail, right away. We have the best patients in the world. So
David Joyce, the author of that, I don't know if he's the author. In my opinion, he would be the author of that.
The author of that?
Author of that, excuse me. Anyways, he didn't even show up to the forum. It was just Andy Vasquez and Joan Saunders. And Joan Saunders had this to say again about her.
We need stronger code enforcement.
They put you in jail right away. No trial, no nothing.
So it looks like the obvious leader of our candidate forum is Andy Vasquez right now.
Yes, the others are all about code enforcement. And that guy, he's been showing up to every forum. It sounds like that guy from Boracua. You go to jail.
He's just really ensuring that we want to be that way here in America now of, go straight to jail. Don't pass go. Go straight to jail.
Is he advising those candidates?
I think so. It sounds like it.
Yep.
So code enforcement, that was the big deal.
It
for her
was,
at
and
the meeting.
I didn't get a clip. The forum that they had set up there, they didn't have their mic plugged into their
Sound system.
to their sound system, well, into their video recording system, like the Tea Party does. So the sound quality was more off. But Andy beat up on both them pretty hard about private property rights.
Well, good.
And he was, and you know, the old mall came into question again. And Andy's one main thing was, you know what? If it's not yours, you can write letters to the guy in the company all you want. But if they're keeping it boarded up and keeping it policed up, there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do about it. And she said, well, she didn't care if they had to bring in somebody from the state.
Ooh.
Well, how does that work? The county trumps the state.
Well, if the county is stronger than the private property owner, I'm sure the state is stronger than the county. I'm sure that's the theme.
You said the word Trump.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, and you know, the one big theme that I'm seeing on this is they're all saying, I would be doing this. I would find somebody to do this. I would find somebody to do that. One of the big things was a cleanup. And I happen to have Andy Vasquez's flyer here, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah, because I hear her, she says a lot, somebody should do something. Somebody should do something.
Yeah.
Well, and Andy's did a coordinated cleanup with over 30 volunteers in Linda and collected over 350 tons of garbage was removed. You know, and then she's also got the killer shopping cart.
Well, it
ordeal.
sounds like somebody is doing something then.
Yes,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Andy is doing something.
350 tons of garbage.
350 tons.
And I don't think you have to be a public servant, an elected public servant, to do something like that. I think that if she's so concerned about all those shopping carts, maybe she should be the one who's somebody who's doing something. Maybe she could do something.
Well,
Well-
this is go ahead, Tom.
As a business owner, I, get a lot of trash around my place or out in front of my place, and I don't wait for someone to pick it up. I just pick it up. That's just the way it is, you know.
You don't call the city offices and complain about it?
Oh no, and I don't call code enforcement either.
How you solve the problem yourself.
Yes,
That is
yes.
unbelievable.
And even my public safety.
You take care of that yourself too?
Yes, I do. It's real simple.
It's almost like you think you're living in a republic or
Yes. Well, in my mind, I am. Yes.
Well, check this out. I'm going to play one more clip from Joan, and then we'll talk about this real quick.
Still see shopping carts lying along our main roads, such as Lyndhurst Avenue and North Beale Road, which could easily cause accidents or people could be killed.
Coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time, and I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha!
Oh, Randy, you shouldn't have taken that drink before.
Okay.
I think it started coming out your nose.
Do you need any medication?
So Andy has coordinated multiple shopping cart cleanup days and collected and returned them to the business owners. So he's actually doing something. I know, better for worse, Andy's not perfect. He said a couple of things in the forum that made me step back whenever they didn't vote for the sanctuary city, which we'll get into here in a vote to be against the sanctuary state. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But the fact is he's actually doing something. He's actually out in the public doing something. Where these other two candidates are all about, well, somebody should do something. Not I, but somebody should do something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They can point out that something needs to be done.
When it comes to code enforcement and trying to force your neighbors or whoever you decide needs to be forced, you need to really rethink that, because it's not the American way, and I can't or live across from you and point out to you everything that you need to do to your place. It's just not right. I believe you can move if you don't like it. You can look the other way if you don't like it. You know, there's plenty of alternatives.
You can choose to live in one of those communities that have, those kinds of rules and regulations to live there.
There's people that set up gated communities because they don't want to live with things that get under their skin, and they have every right to do that. So that's a beautiful thing.
Well, you know, I've had
there's
multiple
a lot of options.
I've had multiple conversations with you guys about the deal is anytime you're willing to vote to give somebody else's rights away, be very, very careful because you don't know how down the road that's going to affect your rights. And I would much rather let everybody keep their rights and just deal with it myself.
If you vote to give somebody else's rights away, those are your rights.
They are your rights that you're giving away, just not at this exact moment is it going to affect you. But down the road, I promise it's going to eventually.
Good point.
So what else happened at the forum there with the supervisors?
Well, if you guys would have went, you would know.
Hey, I had to attend a Constitution class.
And I was teaching a Constitution class.
What a coincidence.
No.
I went to Little League.
There you go. Well, you know what? Kids are first, buddy.
Yeah,
I get that 100%.
That's important.
So, Randy, what was your excuse?
I had cold beer. I had to drink.
And he knew we'd hear all about it.
Hey, honesty, that's kind of refreshing. You wouldn't expect to hear that on a political show. Well, at least from us you would, but the other side not so much. So David Joyce chose not to even show up. We saw him at the meet and greet before, but apparently he had emergency between the 15 minutes of the meet and greet being over and the 15 minutes it took to get to the forum. He had some kind of emergency and had to leave.
Wow. So all the candidates that were at the forum, they did the meet and greet, and then they went over to the forum?
Yes, they were at the meet and greet, talked to everybody at the meet and greet, including myself, and then went over to the forum, and were at the forum on time and did their thing at the forum.
Oh. And why didn't David go? Did he give a reason?
He said he had a family emergency.
Oh, okay.
Well, at least that's what the moderator said, was he had a family emergency, because he didn't look like he had an emergency at the meet and greet, but you never know.
You never know.
Anything could have happened.
Yep.
You ended up in the hospital one day, and I had to cut my fishing trip short.
Yeah, I'll try not to do that on a fishing day next time.
Thank you.
I'll try to schedule those emergencies around the fishing.
But other than that, it went over very well. Andy really did shine. Like I say, their microphone system wasn't the best, but we're going to try and remedy that on our end next time and have a better microphone with us to where we can play clips from it. We got one from Joan, and it was pretty hard to get even from that, so we'll play that in a little bit. But like I say, Andy shined the most out of it all, and like I say, the one big thing was, he said if they would have voted for the sanctuary city, that they would have taken a $3 million loss. 3 or 6, I can't be sure, so I'm going to go with the lower number of a $3 million loss from what they would cut off from.
So if they would have voted in opposition of this sanctuary state and be declared
against it,
be a no sanctuary county.
Yep.
Yeah, but they
would have lost money at the jail.
I don't understand that. Because,
correct, yeah.
Because they're funded by the federal government.
Well,
not the state government.
Regardless of,
and in the appeal this morning, it was 7.5.
Okay, well, it was either 6 or 3. It was never 7.5. So maybe it was even more.
I know it grew $1.5 million overnight.
Well, it's only $1 million. Who's counting?
It's $1 million here, $1 million there.
Yeah, exactly.
Soon you're talking about real money.
Well, bottom line is money from the people, right?
Exactly, and that's the whole issue. Is not only that. Where do you go, Tom, as a business owner, whenever you need more money? Or do you just cinch up your belt?
Here, I'll tell you where I go. It's real hard to get a hold of this. I go to work.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take that.
Yep. Work harder.
And I got to work harder. I got to be more innovative and stay later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing is they've got to figure out that there's not always going to be a handout from somewhere that's going to be able to feed them.
But you're not a union member, are you?
Non-union. Union of one.
Union of one. That's right.
So that means you don't shuffle your feet.
No feet.
That's
shuffling.
what that means.
Yeah.
So other than that was pretty uneventful. It was a good showing, but I wished, it's really disheartening whenever you have these forums and a candidate doesn't show up or walks off and leaves.
Oh yeah.
You're really wondering what they're afraid that they're going to say. Mm-hmm. Okay? So there's a few things. Are they not prepared? Mm-hmm. Are they afraid of the people, or do they think that they're just not as well versed as the other two people that they're going to be talking against?
Yeah, so now we've had one that showed up and then left. And immediately. And then you have one where he obviously was able to go because he was at the one event, and then he just didn't show up for the forum. So he showed up when it was just a meet and greet, and the spotlight wasn't on him. But then when it was time to go and be at the public forum and be put some questions to that he'd have to answer publicly, he didn't want to show up for that.
He had emergency to go to, evidently.
And it's like my pastor always says, you got to show up to the showdown. There's just no two ways about it. You got to show up to the showdown.
Yeah, if you're going to get married, you got to show up.
Sometimes I think it's better if the other half doesn't, but not in my case. But I'm just saying there's cases out there that I think it's better I'm not having.
You saved that one quick.
Well, my standard denial to a wedding or
when
reason not to go.
When his friend's getting married.
I just tell them I'll be at the next one. I'll be sure to be at your next one. It'll be okay.
Not a good statement to make to your friend.
Yeah, well,
Turned out to be true, though.
All right.
But we're still married.
Yes, we are. Happily married.
Yep. Going to be 13 years this year.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's
feel like
good.
it. So this is what you get of a lot of times, though, at the I'm not got it ready. I'll play it here in a minute. You guys go ahead.
Well, it's there. You mentioned that there wasn't a lot that went on at the forum, but it really was, because when you bring home and I get to listen to the video clips or the sound clips after the forum, and I get to hear what was said. Actually, quite a lot is said, and it's very informative for people to show up to those forums and
how was the attendance?
The attendance was really good. From the other forums, the other two forums that I've been to, the sheriff's and then the District 1 and District 5, a lot of the same faces. So you're getting a lot of the same voters going out and going to the same places. It's really good.
Yeah.
So, but the problem is we need to get the new voters out there and get the new voters involved in this because, and more of them to get these guys to being held accountable for what they're saying. Because right now, this is kind of what you're getting out of them. We've been poisoned by these fairy tales. They're promising you all this stuff, and then nothing happens. It's the same old after they get in. For 4 years, it's 4 years of the same.
Yeah, and I would encourage, because you're right about the same people showing up to those forums and the debates. Because when I do go, which is most times, unless I'm teaching a class, I go, and there are the same people there. Why don't more people go to those?
Well, I think that's just a fact of life. And throughout history, it's been a small group on one side or the other that's affected any kind of change.
That's right.
I don't know if people are really aware just how much or how important it is to get the right people in as supervisors, just how much power they actually have. I'm sitting here reading on the Yuba site what some of their stuff that they are in charge of, and I think if people knew all the things the decisions that they make, that they would be more involved. I was actually ignorant to some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and we need to be watchdogs. The bottom line is, if we didn't have people who were watchdogs in the years gone before us,
yes,
and looking out and keeping their eye on what the public servants are up to, well, we would be in worse condition than we are already right now.
Right.
So,
and we're in bad shape now.
Yes, and we need the public always to be watchdogs on those that have been elected to serve.
And
right.
to be
they
involved.
work for you. Come out and speak your mind.
Yeah.
Well, they're supposed to work for us.
Yep. And if you see a need that is lacking, like for instance, Lou does an excellent job of talking about politics. He talks a lot, though. He talks about local politics, but he also talks about the state and the federal. And there was a little bit of a missing link there, because I think that there's a lot to benefit from focusing on the local politics, especially during the campaign. So we saw the need, and we're filling it. We're filling that need. We're drawing attention to the campaigns, to the candidates, and people are listening. And I think that's very important. So there's so much opportunity for anybody to step up and do something to be more involved and to better, our community in some way. And you just need to look for those opportunities.
Well, most people that move forward, in politics, are starting at the grassroots level down here. So, yeah, it's definitely good to keep an eye on them at this level.
Yeah.
And then, as they progress, or, you can say it's progression or digress, whatever you want to term it, But you have to even keep a closer eye on them the longer they're in. Because I've seen people really flip. It's like years ago when I was in the bread business, and we had a guy that was working in the back room, and then he moved to the head clerk and then assistant manager, and you could see quite the changes take place in the person.
Became a little bit of a tyrant, yeah?
A little tyranny going on, yes. So some did and some did not.
So some of them lose their souls on the way.
What we got to do is when we see these guys in public, ask them to roll their pant legs up a little bit. Now you say, why would you do that? Well, I want to see if they got any swamp water on their socks.
A little green tinge there.
Yes, because it tends to creep up. And we got to keep an eye on that.
Just like whenever your house gets wet, the sheetrock wicks the water up and just keeps getting higher and higher and higher if you don't cut it off and stop it and get the water out of the house. Same thing.
If we see that swamp water, then we got to invite them over for a good pressure washing.
Yes.
I think that used to be tar and feathering.
I think maybe even a revival would help.
Well, let us not forget that the price of our liberty is eternal vigilance.
Thank you. That's the truth.
We have to be vigilant, just like I have a little note reminder for Bill to speak up.
Speak up.
So he doesn't trail off and we don't hear him anymore. He's got that constant reminder in front of him now. This is Bill, speak up. Allegedly, there's a reminder sitting in front of him.
We'll talk a little later about the city council meeting. I did go to that this week for Yuba City.
Oh, see, I didn't go to that.
Yes.
I didn't go to that.
And we had an executive meeting that night to attend.
So you went to these guys.
The monkeys, and people say we monkey around.
Yes, I was there. They were talking about going to Washington, D.C., just like in passing, so I wasn't really up to speed on that, but evidently they are going, and they're having...
well, if you go to Sweet Life's Facebook page, he's already got it posted up that
they're there now.
They're there now and just having a party.
Oh.
It's a good time. Got to go to the White House and do the garden tour, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Gary Bradford went to the cemetery, come on, William.
Who's William?
Arlington?
Oh.
Arlington, thank you. Yeah, that's what happens when you get old. You lose words.
And your hair, apparently.
Only on top.
Sorry. Couldn't resist.
Other things, too.
So what is the scoop on that? We had some city council.
City council, supervisors. Dan Flores is there.
City clerk.
Yeah, city clerk, too, really.
Yeah.
And they've all gone to D.C. for what reason? I do not know.
To become imbued with the federal philosophy,
to spend money.
Okay.
It's the annual indoctrination.
That's what happens when we send our money to the federal government, so we have to beg to get it back.
I heard a lot about that during the city council.
No, I'm not sure if they paid their own way or not. I really don't know, but I know that they're not here, and it is what it is. If they paid their own way, great, but still, yet, did they schedule a vacation whenever they did that?
So D.C., that is the proverbial swamp. So I heard someone asking earlier today if the people thought that the swamp has been cleaned up yet. And
You guys got a headphone issue in there, I think.
Uh-oh. Whose is it?
Got some static.
Wow. There, that's better. Nope.
So, I don't know.
I don't know. Anyways.
Oh, that's way worse.
No.
So we're still live here dealing with all this static, I guess.
Let's deal with static.
All of a sudden we got some static.
Well, darn it.
Yeah, that's...
They were having this issue the other day, weren't they? Was this what they were talking about?
I don't know, but it's annoying.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Okay, so moving on, right?
Yep, moving on.
Went to the candidate forum. 2 showed up, and that was about it.
Yeah, at the meet and greet, there was almost everybody was there except for I didn't see Amanda Hopper there.
Yeah. How about...
was Chris Carlos there?
Chris Carlos was there.
But Amanda Hopper wasn't?
Right.
Oh. Well, there's actually going to be some upcoming opportunities to see the DI. Are we supposed to talk about that yet? I lost track.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it.
Okay. Well, let's pull up my thing that tells me. Oh, actually, I can pull up my calendar. I've got it on my calendar on my phone. So, upcoming opportunities to see the DA. Well, first, let me go over, since we're talking about upcoming opportunities, let's look at the upcoming week. We have a couple events happening. One is the Sutter GOP Lincoln Day Dinner. That's happening on Wednesday, April 18th at 5:30. It's going to be over at the Hillcrest Plaza in the Plaza Room. I believe they're sold out now, though, so if you don't have your tickets, you guys lose out. But we'll tell you all about it. Then you have also the same day, it looks like, yep, the Wednesday the 18th, you have the Chamber of Commerce and Appeal Democrat Candidate Forum. This time they're going to be talking to the Yuba County District 5 supervisors and the sheriff candidates. And that's both happening on Wednesday the 18th. And then Thursday this week, Thursday the 19th, you have, during the day at 11 o'clock, you have the Sutter Yuba Republican Women Federated, their monthly meeting over at the Hillcrest Plaza Room. They're talking, let's see. Oh, shoot, I don't have it here. Oh, I think it's an all candidates forum. That's why I don't have it written down. It's all Sutter County candidates will be at that event. And then you have the Deputy Sheriff Association and the American Legion have teamed up. They are conducting a forum at the Veterans Hall. And it is a candidate forum for the sheriffs. And I don't have in here if that's for just Sutter County or for both. So someone will have to correct me on that if I'm wrong. I was thinking it was just Sutter County Sheriffs, but I could be wrong. But that is happening Thursday, April 18th at 6 o'clock. It's over at the Veterans Hall. Wow, that's bad. I see your mouth moving, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, no, it's really bad. He's in here trying to fix it now.
Okay. All right.
We're having a little technical difficulty.
Was this what was happening? Oh, he took his headphone off. I don't know if this was what was happening the other day.
So this is all next week, right?
Yeah, that's all next week.
But what's on Monday?
That's it.
Thank
you
you.
got it. You got it. Oh, thank you. Why don't you tell us what's Monday?
So Monday's the Sutter Butte's Tea Party Patriots, and that's at Church of Glad Tidings, and it's going to be a Sutter County Board of Supervisors. Except Dan Flores is still going to be in D.C. on his capital to capital. It's District 3, and Munger is going to, Larry Munger, he's in District 3 currently and has been there for God knows how long, forever it seems like. Anyway, there's 3 candidates, Paul Bassi, Burt Manuel, and Mike Ziegenmeyer. And they're going to be out there come and talk. They're going to tell you about themselves for a little bit. We're going to give them up to 5 minutes. I talked to one of them the other night. He said, I don't think I've got 5 minutes to tell you about myself. But They're all Sutter County residents in District 3, and I think they're all farmers, as they should be. District 3 is all mostly rice and all kinds of beans, orchard beans. Everything's grown out there. Anyway, after their introduction, we're going to open it up to open mics. There are no scripted questions other than the ones that people bring, through themselves. We're not going to run it through a moderator or arbitrator and decide what questions are best answered, best asked.
So no softball questions.
No softball
just
questions.
Whatever the people want to know.
And I know that night there's another tea party in town, and they're gonna have the superintendent of schools that night. And I know a lot of people were asking about that. So, if you're in District 3 and you're torn between come on out to Church of Glad Tidings, because our next meeting on May 7th, we're going to have the superintendent of schools town hall.
Right. Yeah, so if you're not in District 3, then maybe it's, go to either one. But if you're in District 3, that's a good opportunity, because you will get another opportunity to see the superintendent.
Even if you're not in District 3, I mean, these people are your supervisors. Their decisions are going to count for every district in the county.
Right.
Yes. Now, Larry Munger is still running for his seat, right? Oh, no, he's not running?
Retiring.
Oh, okay. So we have 3 new guys on the slate that are opting for that job. So
yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got a technical guy in here, man, and he knows what he's doing.
Just took the hum right out of that.
Yes,
That's a circled.
So we've been hearing a lot of humming in here, and now it's gone.
God, it was torture.
Yeah.
Torture for a while there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep my train of thought, and it's just, there's got all this humming in your head, and it makes it difficult. Very difficult.
So anyway, look, we've been talking about property rights, and we are, affiliated with, we wear a lot of hats around here.
We do wear a lot of hats.
Yeah, and one of them is the Yuba Sutter Constitutional Republicans. We're changing the name from Sutter Yuba to Yuba Sutter because
It's just,
Yuba Sutter just sounds better,
rolls off the tongue better.
That's right.
We wear headphones also, but I want to know why you got white ones and we all got black ones.
Because she's cool and we're not.
We're the black sheep.
She's the mom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So anyway, we were talking about property rights and James Madison, President James Madison, last week. And because the Constitution is so important to us, and because the United States was an idea that changed the world, before that it was all tyrants and bullies and kings and queens, and people told you how to live and what to do, and it's sort of like it is today.
Sort of like it's becoming, yeah.
So, it was an idea, and James Madison was known as the father of our Constitution and the father of the Bill of Rights also. He was born in 1751. You got to think back. These guys were speaking the King's English back then. There wasn't, we didn't have these fine American accents. We still had British accents now. And James Madison, he was the shortest of all the presidents. He was 5'4". 5'4". And he weighed less than 100 pounds. They wouldn't even let him fight the Revolutionary
That's only
War.
3 inches taller than you, honey.
Right.
I know. I was saying, that's short. That's tall to me.
Well, you would have had to look up to him.
I would have looked up to him.
Right.
He weighed less than 100 pounds. I did not know that.
Yes, and he nicknamed him Jimmy. Jimmy!
Wow.
Now, he
was a fireball.
He was a fireball. He served as a Secretary of State under Jefferson, I think, from 1801 to 1809. And he was the 4th president. He served 2 terms from 1809 to 1817. He was the only president to lead our troops into battle in the Battle of 1812 against the British. The British came back and thought they did it wrong the first time and found out they had. And they did it wrong again. And
Good
so
thing.
we kicked him out. He was introduced to his wife by Aaron Burr, who later killed Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton in a duel. He was one of the authors.
See, he's got you doing it.
It's all your fault, Jay. He's one of the authors of the Federalist Papers, along with Hamilton and John Jay. And John Jay was our first Supreme Court justice, and was also the one that told us to judge the law as well as the facts. If you're going to trial.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Madison said, if men were angels, no government would be necessary. Because most of the founders believed that man's sinful nature was inherent in us all. Mm-hmm. And so we really had to keep an eye on government. He was the last founder to die. He died June 28, 1836.
Well, look where we've come from since then,
Yeah.
That sin nature definitely is taking its toll.
These were a free people. They just come from under the tyranny of a government that told them, you can't have this paper unless you have a stamp on it. You got to have the King's special stamp. Look at the mic, Bill.
Yes.
And don't overdrive.
Wow.
You go to jail.
Yeah.
Overdrive, underdrive, jail.
Jail.
Right away. No trial, no jury, just jail.
Yeah, I mean, and taxed under T was what put them over the edge, and subsequently they had the Boston Tea Party. And
well, we were talking about district attorney. Did you have something to go, Tom?
Oh no, I was going to say that along the line Bill's talking about, all that is available in Tammy's Constitution class. Mm-hmm. And it's great to review the history. And if you're like me, you got to review it, and you got to review it again, to let it sink in. But that is taking place this Wednesday, and still there's room for others that want to go in. Oh, no, you're canceled this Wednesday.
Yeah, because I'm going to the GOP dinner. I'm rescheduling it to, hopefully Tuesday works. That way we can keep our Thursday meeting. So
yeah.
I haven't heard back from everybody yet, but hopefully Tuesday works.
So that is available, isn't it, to the public, that
yes,
if they want to get in on the Constitution class?
Other than this week, it is every Wednesday.
Yes.
It starts at 6:30.
Yes.
6:30 to 8.
I plan to get back in there myself. I missed the first meeting, but I want to go.
It's fascinating to see how it looked from the founders' perspective, what the trials and tribulations they were going over and through to get to where they got, to get to freedom and liberty.
So much as like today, we're all dealing with it. We're trying to maintain our life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness in this United States that has gone way south into deep swamp water. And they were doing the same thing. But I think their tyranny had got just a little heavier than we are right now. But we're on the same cusp of that tyranny.
Actually, I think the tyranny they were subjected to was a lot less than the tyranny that we're subjected to today. If you really compare it.
Yes.
If you really compare it, they were head over heels into revolution way before. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm still living free in my own mind, I guess. So I practice my liberty, and I'm not living in any fear like a lot of the people are. So I guess I just don't realize, the depths of the tyranny that some people are feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can promise you, living this much north of Sacramento, even though it's only 35 minutes, I promise that it's a lot less than there is in Sacramento. Believe me, I go there every day. It's quite a bit less.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to play a quick clip of a ad for Chris Carlos, which I believe my opinion is that he's the front runner for district attorney right now. I'm going to play a quick video from him. Well, actually, a soundbite.
Sutter County, are you ready for a change?
Hi, my name is Chris Carlos. I'm running for Sutter County District Attorney.
Tired of the embarrassing circus centered around your DA's office?
I decided to run for DA last year when I started to see all the problems that were showing up at the DA's office, mostly on the front page of the paper.
The power is yours.
I'm hoping June 5th we can make a change for the better of Sutter County. Something's institutionally wrong with the DA's office, and it needs to be changed.
Vote for experience.
I prosecuted murder cases, special circumstance murder cases, gang murder cases, drive-by shootings, stabbings, rape cases, pretty much everything. The DA herself has not tried a murder case. Out of 10 prosecutors at the office, I think one of them has actually taken a murder case to trial.
Vote for excellence in public safety and criminal justice.
The DA is supposed to be hands-on. The DA is supposed to have contact with the community. The DA is supposed to have contact with law enforcement. The DA is supposed to be interactive. The DA is supposed to prosecute cases himself, especially the hard cases, and that's not going on in Sutter County.
What is going on in Sutter County?
Sutter County just paid out the first of many lawsuits against the DA's office last week for $325,000 of taxpayer money. So hopefully we can keep the DA's office out of the paper and focus on prosecuting crimes like they should be.
Sutter County needs focus.
Sutter County and Yuba County both prosecute the exact same number of cases, but Sutter County has a budget that's $2 million a year more, but it's just not coming through to the public.
Sutter County deserves better.
I have about 12 years experience as a prosecutor. I worked in Butte for about 8 years, and I got to see what a DA's office is supposed to work like. There's problems at the DA's office that need to change. I've lived here since 1999. I grew up in Marysville, and I think Sutter County really needs a change, otherwise I would not be doing this.
After a few conversations with the man, I really have a lot of faith in him. I think it could be a really good change for us. And you know what? We're obviously not getting what we thought we were going to get, so why not try something new? It's only 4 years. I'd much rather go with something new than the same old, same old.
Well, yeah, and the unfortunate thing is we all thought we were getting something completely different 4 years ago, and we were all pretty positive and optimistic about it, and it's just run its course, and it's not turned out to be what we thought it was. So,
the district attorney, he has quite the job to do, I would say, because there's a lot of, things running amok out there in our, where we live in our neighborhoods. So.
There's a lot of muck running going on out there.
Yeah.
Well, we are looking at somebody had a really awesome idea to put together all the headlines that have been in. These are all sourced out of the Appeal Democrat, but all the headlines.
Good. I'd forgot about this.
Yeah. So it's a document. It's running around on Facebook right now, but basically all it is the headlines, just to bring your attention to, and it's titled, the title at the top says, "Have you had enough of District Attorney Amanda Hopper?" And here we have a list of headlines. The first one says, alleges Hopper attempted to destroy or alter video footage of the arrest. That was Appeal Democrat 32318. Then you have 32218, just the day before. The headline says, alleges Hopper's then husband was sexually involved with police chief's wife, Sarah Easton, who turned up deceased in her own home. Then there's another headline that happened January 25th, 2018. Hopper won't take Jim Whitaker case due to a conflict of interest. In the news again on December 14th, 2017, Hopper reported for alleged theft of public funds. Then another headline, August 24th, 2017, lawsuit alleges hostile work environment and retaliation by DA Amanda Hopper. Couple more, we got August 4th, 2017, $10 million lawsuit filed against Sutter County in murder case. Then you have another one from 2017. It was dated March 30th. The headline says, news lawsuit alleges Hopper and chief investigator publicly humiliated me, then threatened my life. So that's a lot of headlines for a single district attorney to be drawing negative attention.
One of them cost Sutter County $375,000 or $325,000.
Is that the
A
most
new
recent
Chopra,
one that
yeah.
was, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
they
wonder, is that the people paying for that, or is that an insurance
No.
program?
I'm pretty sure they
Yeah.
don't have a money tree out in back that they go
Yeah.
pick it
I
off
don't
of.
think
So I'm
they're printing their
pretty
own
sure.
Federal Reserve notes yet.
Yeah. So that's coming right out of the county coffer.
Well,
Yeah.
it's insurance, but who's
Oh, it is
paying
insurance.
the insurance? I'm
Yes.
sure. Well, I'm
Okay.
sure it is, but so many files against your insurance. What happens?
Oh, your rates go up.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I often wondered if that was the case, that it was, just dipped right out of the fund, or if it was the insurance. No matter what, it's still costing the
people's money, yes.
taxpayers.
Mhm.
Yes.
Still going to cost you money. But there's, wow, those are just tips of the iceberg, because those are just headlines. And
that's been, what, a 4-year term or 2-year term? 4-year.
4-year term.
4-year term.
Boy, 4 years sure went by in a hurry, didn't it?
Doesn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait till you get another 10 years on you.
Yes.
What is the
Go even
conflict of
faster.
interest?
Let's see.
Does it say what?
Well, I don't even have the whole article here. It's just a gathering of headlines, and so I don't have the whole. So I don't know what the conflict.
Hey,
of
we
interest
want to
is.
remind you to listen to KMYC 1410, The Patriot.
Yes, you are the Patriot. That's a good name for a radio station.
I like it. We need more patriots. All you people, get off your dead duffs and come on and do your civic duties.
Help us out. Yes, we need all the help we can get.
Just a little quote here. It says, if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the aggressor.
That's right.
Yeah,
So-
you're complicit.
Talking about getting off your duffs.
Oh.
Something to think about.
So
So,
I'm reading right now, so you guys are going to
So now
I just got a newspaper article sent to me that I'm...
he can read?
Yeah. Believe it or not.
I taught him last year.
All right.
It's audiobooks.
I was wondering what he was doing with that tape to tape in there. Reel to reel.
Oh, man. All right. Good enough.
Did we talk about Sheriff DeAugustini?
No, we didn't.
That excellent sheriff we have up in El Dorado County.
Oh, no, we didn't, but he has put a challenge out. You guys want to talk about that?
let me go to the website so I can get, or do I have it in the agenda? Let's see.
No, it's not in the agenda. I know what it is, but
I had it right here.
So he put out an invitation to all the legislators, the current legislators. And what we'll do, maybe because we're getting close to a break, when we come back from the break, we'll read from his actual posting. But basically, he was just tired of his officers getting all kinds of heat from the legislators and getting so much criticism that he invited them to take part in this simulated training course to where, he's going to sponsor it, and he just invited them to come and say, and put them through that simulation and say, well, let's see how you would react and perform under these circumstances, and would you pull the trigger at the right time?
see how many criminals they can put down, or old ladies with handbooks,
Right. Yeah, it's a really great idea, and he's got it posted, I think, on his web page. We'll have to go to that maybe after the break.
Actually, it's their Facebook page.
It's their Facebook,
and it's also on Yuba
Sutter Political Spotlight.
I was thinking of the constitutional one. It's
And we changed that name too.
I know. Well, now I have no excuse. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate that. Hey, we just want to give a plug out to One-Eyed Blind Media. One-Eyed Blind Media. The guy is just amazing and helps us out and keeps us rolling with different things every week. Also, he was at the candidate meet and greet, did a live video there for anybody who couldn't make it. You can go to his website or his Facebook page and take a look at that. And just, he chatted with each candidate individually for just a few seconds. But it gives you an idea, at least see who's there and who's not, who is afraid of the camera or afraid of public view, which this time it was Amanda Hopper. But it always seems like there's one that's not wanting to show up or something, or has a prior obligation of some type, or a family emergency, or whatever the case may be. But the fact is he did that, and it turned out really, really well. He got a little bit of criticism for it, but he did really well. I thought it was awesome, and to put that up, he's going to go ahead and keep it up on its Yuba City and More Facebook until the end of the election. So, you can go back and take a look and see what these candidates had to say early on.
Yeah.
And we've really been kind of pushing him to go, because he does more video. We do all the audio stuff to show up more and do that kind of thing. Also,
the guy's an expert when it comes to
graphics and things like that. He's really helped us out a lot.
I've seen his work online too, man, and I was very impressed.
Creative.
All over our area. I mean, for everybody, he does a lot of stuff. And he does a lot of stuff for free, and we really need to get him to change that a little bit. He's got to pay the bills, and I mean, I don't want him to change it for us, but everybody else. No, he's a really, really good guy, and really, really takes care of us on the radio show. And I mean, even yesterday they were having some technical difficulties out here, and he called ahead to make sure that we weren't showing up for nothing today. So I mean, just little things like that he does, and he's also going to be doing Shades with the Sheriff. He does all of his Facebook lives in his car because it's quieter and just a better studio for him.
Acoustics.
And so he's got each sheriff gonna meet with him. He's got 2 confirmed now of the sheriffs who are running for sheriff candidates, and they're gonna meet with him in his car, and you're gonna get to ask them a question live on his Facebook Live. So one sheriff hasn't confirmed yet, but I'm sure they will at this point, unless they're going to just run off. I'm not sure. He hasn't said which ones are going to be there. He's got his dates out. If you go to It's Yuba City and More Facebook page, you'll see that there, and it's really awesome.
So he's going to do it in his car. Huh?
In his car, and 2 of the sheriffs have confirmed that they're going to be there. So he's got his dates up on his page.
He's not going to have the sheriffs handcuffed in the back seat or anything.
Hey, they may need a feel.
Is it going to be like the cash cab? Maybe we can turn it into like a campaign fundraiser.
No, he is going to put them in the driver's seat, because his motto is whenever they're sheriff, that's where they're going to be, is in the driver's seat.
Yeah, awesome.
So
awesome.
It ought to be pretty good, and he's going to take 5 questions from the audience. So it ought to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it, because he does a lot of live stuff. But just to give him a plug, he does us a lot of favors and really takes care of us. So we want to get him as much.
What day is he going to do that again?
It's on It's Yuba City and More
do you want us
page.
to pull that up?
I don't know what it is right now.
Okay.
I guess I could have pulled it up, but I can't type and talk. I'm not multitask. 4, 3, 2. No, we got 45 more seconds, Randy.
45 seconds. Let me see if I can get the dates.
That's okay. We'll get it to you guys whenever we come back. We're going to go ahead and get out of here for our Fox at top of the hour break, and we'll give you some more whenever we get back.
Okie dokie.
All right, Yuba Sutter, we are back.
Yes, we are back.
So we left talking about One Eye Blind Media and how much the guy helps us out, and he's actually getting into the political scene quite a bit too, which is awesome to see. So thank you very much for that. And also, if you are running a campaign right now and you need something done on Facebook or a website, this guy can do it. And if you're a professional and you need something done, this guy can do it, and he'll get it done in a timely manner, knock it out of the park. You'll be more than happy, I promise. So, moving on, we are at 1410 AM, The Patriot, up on Mount Huth, out here in, is this Linda, or is this, what is this considered?
Hey, this is Linda.
This is Linda?
I've always called it Linda,
Right.
but it might be Marysville.
It might be
It is
Marysville.
Marysville address.
Yeah.
It's kind of all the same now.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, we're back, and we're going to do the second half. So what do we got on our second half here?
Well, I don't know if we're open to it, but I did go to the city council meeting.
Yes, let's
Tuesday.
go there to these guys.
Monkeys and people say we monkey around.
So when I went to the city council meeting, I was a little bit late, and I wrote down a few things what I observed. So to me, I just kind of sat there and listened, and I observed quite a bit of mutual admiration among themselves. That's what I believe. Okay.
You mean they're proud of themselves?
Yes.
A little bit of ego.
Yes. Yeah, little ego.
Little ego
floating around the room.
Gotcha.
And, yeah, just like a good old boy network there. And after reading about Agenda 21 over the years, and it's now called Agenda 2030, okay, it's describing a new form of government described as regionalism. So I saw it played out before me. The words "our region" were mentioned more than several times by members of the council. So what they've done is they've moved from city government. I think a lot of it plays into the COG, right? The Council of Governments. SACOG.
SACOG is what the local district is.
Yeah, so the word our region, those two words were mentioned a lot during the city council meetings. And so a lot of attention was given to replacing the city water meters and the costs and long-term costs of the project, the technology options for the new meters, how we have gone from a meter reader going through the city and tapping each meter to get a reading, from there to driving through the city on planned routes where they pick up a signal from the readers for billing uses. And then they're going to put in a new meter with a newer technology that sends a cellular signal to the, to a main database. And then also the public will be able to pick it up on their smartphones. So you'll get actual time on your meter. I mean, what's the best way to explain that?
I just want to be able to turn my meter backwards.
Yes. Well, you can see in real time what's going on with your meter. So that was talked about for quite a while there. And I guess it's going to cost about $6 million to replace those meters in the city of Yuba City.
Sorry.
And I just thought I thought I was on a game show or something. I just heard a.
I'll do the sounds. That's the one thing I can do.
But one thing I did not see was that anybody really is paying attention to Agenda 2030, or formerly Agenda 21, where you have all this technology that's coming forth to, monitor everybody's consumption of energy.
There'll be a meter on your bed.
Yeah, just like that song just said.
Or on your fridge.
Right. So.
Oh, my fridge would be locked all the time.
It sounds, like a little bit over the top or paranoia. But in reality, with the smart house and the smart meters and the whole smart grid, it's going to be a control mechanism.
You're going to be smartly controlled.
Yes. So
no bacon for you.
In the future,
that is just not going to fly.
You're not going to wash your clothes when you want to wash them. You're going to wash them when the government tells you can wash them.
And isn't the whole reason for the Agenda 30, Tom, the whole Agenda 21 was supposed to be implemented by something like 2050, but they saw the need to get it faster because,
yes.
So they've changed it to 2030.
So I'm going to put in a little plug here for a book that I read not too long ago. It's called Technocracy Rising, the Trojan Horse of Global Transformation. And the author is Patrick Wood. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon. And I'm going to read one little bit in here, okay, from the book. It says, one organization dedicated to the creation of a global smart grid stated, There is a new World Wide Web emerging right before our eyes. It is a global energy network, and like the internet, it will change our culture, society, and how we do business. More importantly, it will alter how we use, transform, and exchange energy. Statements like this allude to the grandiose nature of a global smart grid. As big as the internet and able to transcend borders, cultures, and entire societies. With the stakes this high, the technocratic global elite went all in to build a global infrastructure and create standards to control the energy distribution and consumption across the entire planet. Now, even at this city council meeting where I was at, we had the city councilman Buckland. He was talking about he had just went to Mexico.
Sweet life.
Sweet life, yes. He had just went to Mexico on a trip, and it's something that he does regularly to help build houses or something down there. And he said, even though the conditions for living are pretty, desperate, that they still had smart meters being installed in Mexico.
Wow.
Or they were upgrading their whole system. So with that in mind, I'm going to read this one final sentence. It says in this book, and this book is loaded with information on Agenda 2030 and the technocrats' dream of total control. It says this continental grid is designed to integrate with other continental systems to create a unified global smart grid. So that's where we're headed. Little by little.
Total control.
Yeah, increment by increment.
Camel gets his whole body in the tent eventually.
Yes. So that was the message I got from the city council meeting. See, so I'm always trying to look a little bit beyond what is being talked about and see what the long range goal is happening here.
Oh yeah. But they did do one thing that I was actually
impressed with.
I wouldn't say impressed. I would say
gotta give them an
it should have been expected. But the fact is
it should be expected. That's correct.
It should be expected. Whenever they have that many people write letters and that many people get up and talk, they should do the will of the people. It should be expected. But instead, you heard the majority of the room already. Well, it was good. It was exceptional. It was nice. To say that, we're going to stand up and we're not going to follow the sanctuary state.
Yes.
And
that was a positive
it was.
Yes.
But it should have been a moot point. Once they heard everybody talk, it should have been no surprise how they were going to vote. But instead, we were all surprised at how they voted because even though we've seen them so many times go the way of everybody get up, speak their mind, and them go, nope, we're not doing that.
Yes.
So... But yeah, it was very, very good.
They also talked about at the meeting a new interchange at Highway 20 and 99 that they're proposing.
And they paid Caltrans close to $250,000 for their 4 proposals they came up with.
And I got this from Lou. For everybody in Linda, that's $250,000.
Is it that much?
That's how much it is.
Yes.
So I just want to clarify.
Yes. So they talked about that, and evidently they got a lot of money to spend. I don't follow it that closely how much their bank account is.
Well, they're going to want a sales tax increase because they spend it like water.
They just spent
drunken sailor
a lot of money, and their whole premise was we've got to beautify this corridor. We've got to make this corridor beautiful for
they
people
just
passing
beautified
through.
It about 5-6 maybe it's been about 5 years ago 6 years ago they beautified it
and now
once.
they want to tear it all up at the corner and build an exchange of which they have no money to do. I don't understand the reasoning behind some of this stuff.
Well, maybe we should donate to them.
I can donate something.
I'm pretty sure we do. It's called your property taxes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was just wanting to see if anybody jumped on the donation wagon.
They also talked about, and they had a couple prospective hotel owners and developers there at the meeting, and we're talking about building a hotel and big conference type room.
There at the old Feather River Mill.
Yes, yeah. So that was discussed there, and they had two competing entities, I believe, to try, are bidding to do that.
Well, they'll have.
But what was remarkable to me is, I guess every time a person gets a hotel room, the city gets probably $10 or something.
They get a little slice of the action.
Oh yeah,
and when they put that all out on charts, man, that was a huge amount of money.
Yeah, it starts to be a pretty good chunk.
They've got to pay for that other 2-lane addition there on Bridge Street.
Right.
It's not finished. People can't get to that new hotel quick enough.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, it was remarkable to me to see the amount of money that they're proposing to skim off the top. It's just another tax, and I believe it was close to $2 million.
Wow!
In a year.
Wow, $2 million per year.
Well, I could be wrong on that. Might have been $2 million proposed in 5 years. So.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's still a pretty good chunk.
It was a good chunk of money, and
for one hotel.
And they're talking about incentivizing some of that back to the developer to get them to build the place too.
What? Yuba City incentivizing to the developer? They must have went to a city council meeting in Roseville or Sacramento or something to actually figure out that you get more whenever you give a little bit in taxes and revenue. Wow.
Yes, because then it becomes ongoing revenue.
You can tell it's election time. You can tell it's election time, and there's 3 seats up for re-election at that department because those guys are like, we got to do something. We got to prove we did something.
Anyway, I thought it was fun to go to and interesting, and I'm glad I was able to give a little report on it.
That's awesome.
But Agenda 2030 is big time. And moving forward, boy.
Well, and if you don't go to these forums or you don't go to the council meetings or you don't go to the supervisor meetings, you're actually missing a lot. And they're a pretty good time. I'm going to play a clip real quick that I put together from the last District 5, Yuba County. This is all 3 supervisors talking. Mm-hmm. And we'll start off with Alton Wright. Then it rolls right into John Mitzler. And then it goes into Randy Fletcher, the incumbent. And this is some of the stuff you're missing at these guys. If you're not going, you're missing the stuff. So I'm going to play this clip really quick and enjoy it. We've had a good time with it.
I agree with you, John. No conflicts. But you're running a piece of media, one of the main pieces of media in the foothills. And I think you need to consider that you can sway public opinion through your piece of media. And in some countries, that's called state-run media. And I think you want to maybe consider that piece around conflict of interest. Thank you.
Well, since that was directed at me, I hope that I have an opportunity to respond. And I would like to say that I might agree with you of your concerns if there were not 2 newspapers here. What you may be suggesting is maybe the foothills should have no newspaper. But let me give you another side to this. What if you, for the very first time, had true transparency in government?
Wow.
If I'm elected to the board, and I expect that I will, it'd be my intention that I will be very much involved in the day-to-day operations of the county to a larger degree than I have been even as a watchdog. So let me assure you, the public will know more about their government than they do today.
Okay, this is going to be interesting. What I heard
is a
lot of opinions, and everybody's entitled to an opinion, but not to their own facts. So remember, these are opinions, not factual.
Randy, we're going to need you to pick up the pace just a little bit.
I need to switch my gear here. I was just going to talk about a few of the basics. Some of you know me, some of you don't.
All right. Well, no lie, that really went on at the last candidate forum. Not the last one. 2 weeks ago at the Sutter Butte Ski Party with the candidates in District 5. And that's what you have to choose from. If I had to vote for them, Mitzler would be my choice, but you make your own decision on that one. So you're missing a lot of fun is what I'm getting at. There's a lot of fun to be had there.
You missed all that. If you were not at that forum, you missed it.
So don't miss the forums.
So, we're leaving poor Live Oak out, and all this is alleged.
Uh-huh.
But I heard that their water rates just went up about $50 a house. And
$50 a house? They were already paying like $100.
We know somebody that lives there. I'm going to text somebody. Give me just 1 second. You guys keep going.
Yeah. And I understand that the water company's securing a big part of that.
Huh.
Yeah. I know Lou.
Is it a private water district out there, or is it city owned, or do you know?
No, it's not city owned. It's somewhat like Marysville's entrapped in, I think, and things are getting worse. I mean, that was 1 month.
Now, personally, I expect to hear from the good old state of California and all the cities that maybe even tomorrow when there's water falling out of the sky, that we're in a drought.
Yes.
I think they're going to keep that program going no matter what the situation is.
Don't look at the lakes. Don't trust your lying eyes.
Yes.
We're a drought.
Yeah. So that is, I've been saying for years, the two most powerful weapons in the world are controlling the mind, controlling the water supply.
Yeah.
So when you're able to control the thought processes of the people through your propaganda machine, and you're able to control the water supply, fake news. There you go. Then I would venture to say those are probably the two most powerful weapons being used out there right now.
Yeah. So Alton wasn't completely off base when he brought his point to state media, because we do have that, and it's currently our mainstream media, and that's why you have to get your news from other sources. Because,
right.
Yeah, that there is truth to that, but Territorial Dispatch, absolutely the complete opposite of an example of state-run media.
Yeah, I'm far more inclined to believe the guy on the street than I am to believe the mainstream media. And you just won a trip. You won a trip to Hawaii.
Yes, we've been wanting to go to Hawaii. Yes. When do we leave?
I'm still on the It's Yuba City and More website, and it keeps auto-playing the intro. So that's what you keep hearing is welcome to It's Yuba City and More. That's his little...
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Welcome to...
We got it.
It's Yuba City and More.
So, I don't even know what this clip is, but it's on my playlist to play it at this point in the show once we've gone through the candidate forums.
The mystery clip.
Yeah, it is. It's the mystery clip. So here we go.
What if you, for the very first time, had true transparency in government?
As far as the blight goes, when I'm supervisor, the Peachtree Mall will be getting served in the ordinance.
We need stronger code enforcement.
The county is stronger than the private property owner.
I'll bet Tom's coming in here.
In America, you got private property rights, and you don't have the right to tell them what to do with this property.
Okay. I'm not quite sure why that was in that spot, but okay.
I recognize that music. I think that's the good, the bad, and the ugly, isn't it?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Or the goofy and the bad and the ugly, however you want to look
My
at
wife wants to know how I can watch that movie over and over and over again. Yeah.
It was a childhood, man.
And never get tired of it.
Nope.
I know why I'm still on this website. It just occurred to me.
The sheriff's spot, Shades with the Sheriff, excuse me.
I pulled up the Facebook page to It's Yuba City and More, and I found where his post, it says, here we go, Shades with the Sheriff. It starts on 4/24, April 24th at 5 p.m. Please comment on this post with a question for the candidates for Sutter County Sheriff. We will pick 5 questions from all that are submitted and ask each candidate in a live broadcast. So 2 candidates have confirmed the following dates. On 4/24, you'll have one candidate, and then on 4/27 at 5 p.m. again, you'll have the other candidate, and as soon as the third candidate confirms, he'll post that date. So right now, 2 of the 3 candidates have confirmed. Those are the dates, 5 p.m. on 4/24 and 4/27.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interviewed right from the car.
Yep. Also, we need to plug our other 2 sponsors. Liberty Holsters. I think everybody in here's got one of his holsters. I know I have multiples. Very good, very, very well-made holster. Most CCWs around our area are using his holsters now. He makes them out of Kydex, has leather look, has just anything you want he can do. For any gun you want, he makes whatever you want. Like I say, I have a Kimber Warrior with a Surefire tactical light on it. Try and find a holster for that. Absolutely good luck. And his prices are very, very reasonable and just makes a really, really quality product.
With that Kimber Warrior and that light, you probably never have to pull the trigger, huh? I mean...
No, you can knock him down with the light.
Yeah. They'll pretty much be blind when they when you pull the light on.
And with as heavy as it is, you can just run up and beat him to death with it. It's all right. So, no, but he makes a very good product. And then Right Side Gear is our other sponsor.
It's Joe Patrick.
Yes, and makes a very, very good product for any of your needs.
Wasn't me this time.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't you? That wasn't me either. Makes a very, very good product for any of your medical needs. Just a IFAC, main gunshot wound type stuff.
Individual first aid kit.
Yes.
Yes. You know what? My son keeps that first aid kit with him in his truck. And twice now he's rendered medical aid on the street with that. So definitely, good to have in there.
On hand.
Yeah. And it was it's quite impressive. I was with him when a lady was hit crossing traffic in Marysville, and we were first on scene, and he went out there and rendered aid. But he grabbed that bag and was on the scene, nothing flat. You know? So that's the type of gear that this man is making.
Exactly. And the nice thing about it is his stuff is really nice quality. It's going to last you a lifetime. If you don't lose it or it doesn't get stolen out of your vehicle, it'll last you a lifetime. You're never going to have to replace it. And I don't know if he has a lifetime warranty, but I would imagine he probably does, just with the quality gear that he puts out. I've never had a problem, never seen anybody with a problem. It's top-notch stuff, so we really like it. And 2 of our sponsors that we really feel are doing a good job here in the community, and our local guys. I mean, just it's amazing to have that kind of quality come out of your local area. And, of course, being in our area means it's American-made. It's not being shipped in from other places and getting a tariff put on it. Now, it is a little bit more expensive. Why? Because it is made here in America.
Get what you pay for.
And you pay for what you get.
That's right.
So
he hand makes all those bags.
Yeah, and so does Liberty Holster. Yeah. They also hand make all their stuff. So it's going to be quality, and not only that, but whenever you pick up the phone or text or email, the guys are right there.
How about that? Private enterprise, right? The small local vendor.
Who would have thought?
I love putting my money to the guy that I know is my neighbor.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Instead of shipping it off, my money off to somewhere else.
China.
And it is my money. You know what I mean? I earned it.
Exactly. Well, that's the way I feel about it. It is our money. It's my money, and even though I give it away to to my taxes, my property taxes, it's still my money. They don't get to just do with it as they please and put it in their coffers for whatever they see fit. They need to be asking us, the public, what they want, what we want them to do with it. So I think that's getting lost in translation.
Don't you want them to go to Washington, D.C.?
I really could care less about them going to Washington, D.C.
Why do you hate them?
Well, why'd you want to kick me like that? Why? Because you knew it'd be funny. I'm not even going to comply then. I'm not even going to go with your
It was funny, huh? Well, I have some good news coming out of Live Oak to my secret source in Live Oak. Thank you, Daddy. He says it appears they canceled that rate hike because of a threat of recall.
Oh my!
Imagine that.
Well, can you imagine that?
The people have spoken, and they got their attention. Apparently,
they didn't want to lose their position.
Yeah,
they didn't want to lose your job.
Yes. Well, more people need to lose their jobs.
And I'll bet the water's still going to run just fine.
Yep.
It's probably still going to be yellow. You have to turn the faucet on and let it run.
You don't want to eat yellow snow. I know that.
And you don't want to drink yellow water. Trust me.
Yes.
Not that I have. I'm just saying I don't think you want to.
Yeah, they don't even let the cat drink that water. The cat gets bottled water.
So again, One Eye Blind Media, Liberty holsters, right side gear, top notch guys. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Yep, good stuff.
All right, so moving on. What do you guys got? I'm trying to open my file here to see what we were supposed to talk about.
Well, there's the Clint Curry. He's the DA running for unopposed in Yuba County. And Sharon Cornell's, she's Vivian Brownlee's daughter, one of them. The other one, I can't remember her first name. I believe she was mayor of Yuba City at one point. And anyway, she wrote an excoriating letter on Facebook.
Speak up, Bill.
On Facebook.
Don't lose your wind.
Don't lose my way. I'm searching. I'm searching.
Oh.
All right.
While you're searching, I can, because I never did give the dates for the DA forum that's coming up.
Okay.
So your first opportunity, and hopefully they both show up, but that would be where the Sutter Yuba Republican women, I think, is that? Yeah, because they've invited all the Sutter County candidates. So if you go to that Sutter County Republican Women Luncheon on April 19th, Thursday, April 19th, then hopefully both the sheriff candidates will show up for that.
Yeah.
But then also on May 2nd is when the Chamber of Commerce and the Appeal Democrats Candidate Forum is going to be held in Yuba City, and it's going to be for the Sutter DA and the sheriffs. Yeah.
So the Republican women thing, you know, a lot of us guys are kind of macho, you know. We don't feel good to go.
Some of those
women
going
to
are
no, plenty
but I
of
mean,
men go.
are men invited to this
yeah.
Republican women deal?
Yeah, you have like
I don't want to be the only guy to show up or something like that.
No,
you might be the only real man to show up, but
no,
don't
say that.
I'm sorry. I sorry.
But it's
I'll shut up now.
Men and women.
Men and women, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, the Sutter Butte's Tea Party Patriots Candidate Forum for Sutter County Supervisors is Monday the 16th. That's tomorrow.
Doors open at 6.
And that is the real Tea Party. The real Tea Party.
It's the real deal.
It's the real deal.
It's
not the offshoot, I'm going to show you whatever Tea Party.
Well, it
it's the real
technically
deal.
was an offshoot at one point because that just keeps happening.
Yeah.
Can't just have a one.
Groundhog Day again.
Like church splits.
Yeah.
They keep happening.
Well, check it out. It's the real deal. They do the real candidate forums. You want to see what's going on with your candidates, check them out. Also, the Sutter GOP, the Lincoln Day Dinner, is the 18th. So 2 days after that, the Lincoln Day Dinner. Isn't there another?
Who's the guest speaker at the Lincoln Day Dinner?
John Cox is the main guy going to be there. He is our front-runner Republican candidate for governor.
And his latest poll has brought him up another point closer to
Newsom.
Gavin Newsom, yeah.
So he's running for
He's giving him for a run for his money.
He's running for the Communist country of California.
Yes, roger that.
Right on.
He's from the same state as Ronald Reagan was.
Oh, okay, I missed it. There is another Chamber of Commerce and Appeal Democrat candidate forum Wednesday the 18th at 6 p.m. So you're probably going to have a conflict if you're not going to go to the Lincoln. I mean, if you're going to the Lincoln Day dinner, of missing the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah. They're sold out at the Lincoln Day dinner.
Well, good. Then we need somebody to go to the sheriff's forum because that's an important one. I'm really hoping that all of them show up.
Yeah, it's Yuba County District 5 supervisors and the Yuba County sheriffs are going to be at the...
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be the other sheriff. I didn't read all the way.
Yeah.
I have a problem with doing that.
No, it's both. So Yuba County District 5 supervisor candidates probably are going first because that's probably the way they have them listed. And then Yuba County sheriff goes after that. So, and that'll be on Wednesday the 18th at 6 p.m.
So, yeah, I'll volunteer to go to that.
Okay.
You betcha.
Cool. Thank you, Tom. That would be awesome. And then the 19th, we have the American Legion Sheriff Candidate Forum Thursday. And is that for the Sutter County Sheriffs or what sheriffs is that for? I believe
it's hard to follow. There's so much going on this coming week.
That was Sutter. It was Sutter County.
So Sutter County Sheriffs there.
Yeah, Sutter County Sheriffs. And hold on, there was another event just got sent to me.
Also, you got to pay your taxes. Those that do pay taxes,
That's, tomorrow
by the
or
17th. Tuesday the 17th.
Okay, so the Sutter County Republican and Democratic Central Committees are co-hosting a forum for the DA and Sheriff. That's what I was missing. Thank you. I could not find that. Okay, found it. It's on May 3rd. Thank you very much for sending that to me.
Who sent that?
My friend, my secret source.
Secret squirrel.
Secret
I love
squirrel
it.
stuff. Who may be on the show next week. Who knows? We'll see. But Sutter County Republican and Democratic Central Committees co-hosting forum for DA and Sheriff on May 3rd at Yuba City Council Chambers, 6 p.m. So let's not forget about that.
Yeah, plenty of opportunity to vet these candidates.
If they show up.
Yes, if they show up.
If they show up.
Yeah, so that should be good.
And if the public shows up.
Well,
but the people need to come out. You people need to come out. I'm telling you.
There'll be enough people to fill the room and have a standing room
overflow.
Yes,
yeah.
What's awesome is if they don't come out, they get our spin on it.
That's right.
They're going to get that anyway. So they.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
But they can always go and see the full forum. Because it's usually posted somewhere. What if Chris does it, or we do it, or somebody's going to post it?
Yeah,
I'm excited once they get the phone system up and running out here again, to take callers. I'm really excited about
callers.
That.
We got to talk to.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Think on our feet.
Can't wait.
Mean I have to stand up.
Yep. Well, for now we're just taking messages. We'll take your Facebook messages and your text messages.
Let's get back to Clint Curry.
Okay.
And he's the Yuba County DA.
Okay.
He's running unopposed. Clint Curry just prosecuted. He just prosecuted a pedophile. The guy was 79 years old, but he's had hundreds of foster children. And
well, that's not good.
No, he got convicted of molesting 2 girls. So he got a year in jail with a chance of parole.
A year
in
jail.
A whole year in jail.
Yes.
How does that work?
I guess it's who you know. I don't know.
Man, that's unbelievable. Yeah.
Well, hopefully Dad is waiting for him at the gates whenever he gets out.
Yeah.
Dang. And that's their only. He's running unopposed.
He's running
so
unopposed.
So that's what they get.
Yeah.
Wow.
Light on
hey, Yuba County. Wake up.
My.
So he is currently prosecuting, or assistant district attorney, the guy that's running, and the other man is retiring.
I don't know if he is current or
The titties and the thunder cheap.
Where'd that come from?
wasn't me.
Just thinking if the guy only got a year in jail, something's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, that soundbite's going to come in handy. Lots to talk about. My goodness.
Unbelievable. Thanks for running my day, Bill. That was awesome. That was,
It's great.
Awesome. Just love it.
So did
Thanks
we
for
find
that.
out if that guy is he the incumbent or is the incumbent retiring?
No.
Yuba County, let me Google it.
I think the problem, Bill, with all the people that are waking up, they're moving out of the state.
No, Randy.
Are you still leaving Wednesday evening?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Why don't you get some lemon juice and put it on that paper cut for me? Sheesh. Like I said, we have options.
Now Randy can relate his experience at the if he can keep his.
I got stoned and I missed it. I got stoned and I missed it. I got stoned and it rolled right by.
Why would you want to go and leave Yuba County like that?
I think that's an option if you live in Yuba County.
Hey, I think it's a good time to read the First Amendment. We'll just slip that in here.
Let's do that. Do you know any of the parts of the First Amendment? Because we had a candidate a few years ago that couldn't even think of one of them.
John Dukes.
Yes.
John Dukes.
Couldn't even, he would have to look into it for you.
Sad to say that happens pretty regularly, but here it is, and we need to review it and read it and get it deep in us so that we're able to stand against any tyrant that wants to take it from us. So there's about 5 different things here in the First Amendment. So I'm going to read it. It says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech. That's the part I love. Or of the press, or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
You must have missed something. You better go back and read it again.
No, I want to read it again just
No,
because
well,
I
hang
love
on.
it so much.
Well, I'm just saying you must have missed something because I didn't see where it said. I didn't hear you say free speech zones.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's a new federal deal, isn't
Yeah,
it? They set
so-
up a free speech zone when they don't want to hear nothing you have to say.
Exactly. So you need to read that again because it said there's got to be free speech
Like-
zones in there somewhere.
If we had something going on in Marysville and they didn't want any public outcry, they go out to 40 Mile Road in the middle of a pasture and they set up a 4-foot by 4-foot area and put a little sign there that says free speech zone.
Yeah. So where does that
Right.
say that in there? Read that again. 'Cause
Well,
it's got to
no,
be
wait.
in there.
Before you read that again, I want to ask a question because you just read the First Amendment. So my question is, so does a school violate that First Amendment if they want to do prayer in a public school? Is that a violation of that amendment?
Well, I would say it would be.
It would be?
Yes.
Because read me the
This
beginning
is-
part of that again.
this
How
is
does it
for the
start out?
People. It
No, how
says-
does that start? Read me the
It
amendment.
says Congress shall make no law.
I think you just made my point for me. It starts out Congress shall make no law. So is the school Congress?
No, they're not Congress.
No. So they can't violate that law. Who's the only one that can violate that law?
Nobody.
Congress. You just said it. Congress shall make no law.
Respecting an
Respecting the-
establishment of the freedom of religion.
Correct. So school, by doing prayer in school, cannot violate that First Amendment because they're not Congress. Congress is the only one who can't establish a state-run church. I can't violate that First Amendment by praying in public, or if I want to put the 10 Commandments up at City Hall, that's not a violation. That First Amendment protects us, keeps the government out of church, not church out of the government.
Right, right. So, yeah, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around what you're saying there, like it's a a double reverse or something.
It is. Well,
the lie about separation of church and state is from one sentence out of an entire article written by Jefferson.
Was a letter written by Thomas Jefferson
to the Danbury Baptist.
Yep.
And I don't know how that got established as law. We had to have some really ignorant Supreme Court justices.
Well,
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
The first 10 amendments were put into or amended to the Constitution because certain of the founding fathers felt like the rights of the people were not preserved well enough in the Constitution itself.
It wouldn't be
That's why
explained
we call it
well enough.
Yes. That's why they call it the Bill of Rights. Okay? So I'm going to read the First Amendment again. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So
where does that get translated into free speech zones? I'm not understanding.
So John Buckland was going to get back to someone at some organization and ask him why we had to have insurance and a permit to go assemble on the sidewalk on Calusa Avenue.
Yeah.
And that was, I thought it was just a year ago or so, but I think it was several years ago.
You haven't heard back?
No.
He's been busy.
It hurts.
Well,
he's been busy traveling. Sweet life.
So
King's games.
You can jump
Capitol,
to the
Mexico.
Ninth Amendment. Okay. So when in doubt, jump to the Ninth Amendment. That's my...
or the 10th.
Yes. And the Ninth Amendment says the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. So what it's saying is if it is not written specifically in the Constitution, the people retain those rights because there's no way they could have written down every right that every person has.
Well, let's establish the word right because some people think the government gives you rights.
No. We have to go back to the
that's God.
Declaration
That's right.
of Independence, right?
That's right.
All men are
Well, the problem is some
created
people, the
equal,
government is their God.
endowed by our Creator
Yeah.
with certain unalienable rights.
That's a
So
scary
there
thing.
is a God.
There is. The other word I like to focus
And
on.
our rights come from him.
That's right. There is a God. Our rights come from Him. The purpose of civil government is to
Yes.
secure these rights.
Yes.
So what I like to also emphasize is the fact that any of the powers that are not delegated in that document you're holding in your hand, they're retained by the people. And they're retained by us because we have them to begin with. As Chris Ann Hall, I believe, likes to say that every power in the universe belongs first to the people.
It's our natural rights.
Yeah, we delegate some of that power for specific reasons that are enumerated in that document
Yes.
that you're holding right there.
You can't retain anything you didn't already have, right?
Right.
Right.
That's right. We were
Right.
created with them.
Yes.
We weren't born with them. We were created with them. So what
Yes.
does that mean?
That means we had them from conception.
That's right. We had them
Before we were born.
Yes. Yes.
So when I heard this week in the mainstream media, the outcry over the people that were killed, supposedly, because when it comes to the mainstream media, it's all supposedly in my eyes. In Syria, supposedly there was a chemical weapons attack, okay? But I heard some different people commenting on it, and they talked about mass murder. And I thought to myself, and they said how they were protecting us Americans here. Seemed like total hogwash to me, but what really struck me was if you're talking about mass murder, but we have mass murder in the USA all the time. every day, and it's called abortion. So, killing in the womb, those that have those inalienable rights.
Thank you, Democrats.
Yes. So.
Yep.
Anyway, the Bill of Rights, I love it.
There was I know what else I wanted to say. When you were, we didn't give enough credit, I don't think, because we wanted to get away from congratulating or being impressed by the city council's action to support a resolution to oppose the state's sanctuary state. And so, but one of the things is there were a lot of people that got up and spoke at that meeting, urging the council to publicly make a statement, to come out and say, you know, we're against this. We're not supportive of this. We support the no sanctuary. We're standing with the federal government on this particular issue. Yeah. So one of the people that got up to speak happened to graduate from the U.S. Constitution class that I taught last year. He was a graduate from last year. And he got up there and he had his Constitution in his hand.
Actually, two of them were. Not last year.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the one was from another course.
Was from the original course.
Yeah. But the one thing I did notice is I noticed how much confidence that gentleman had. And he didn't have that confidence when I first met him. You're right. And he's gained so much knowledge that knowledge has given him confidence. And he got up and spoke very well in front of the whole, in front of the council and all the people that were in attendance there. And he spoke very well. He read from that Constitution. And that just really solidified with me. That's why I do this. That's why I go out and I teach the Constitution, because it's advancing that message and what we all should really know to begin with, but we've lost it somehow. We need to get it back. But that's why I go around. And if I only have one or two students, I'll teach it to one or two students. I'll teach it to whoever wants to show up and learn. I will be there and pass that along, because that made a difference. When that gentleman took the class, it was just him and his wife, it turned out to be. I think I had, a dozen signed up. And by the time we got going, it boiled down to just them two. And I taught it, but there's your result.
Now, you've got one gentleman that's in his mid-80s coming to that class, and he's regretful because he didn't come to it in his earlier years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Never too old to learn.
No.
It's good to know. And pass it on to your grandchildren. Always a good thing. Are you awake in there?
I'm awake.
He's not jumping up and down like he was a while ago.
Yeah, before I was looking over there, he's like bouncing up and down in his chair.
There's four of you guys.
So
I'm busy.
Let's we got a little bit of time. Let's go over the sanctuary state laws. The cities that have adopted resolutions against it: Escondido, Westminster, Los Alamitos, San Juan Capistrano, Yorba Linda, Mission Viejo, Huntington Beach, Ripon, Fountain Valley, Newport Beach, Anderson, Colusa, and Lincoln. Hello. Marysville, Wheatland, where are you? Live Oak.
Yep, they're not on the list yet.
They're not on the list yet.
A lot of those cities are in Southern California, too,
They
man,
are,
right
yes.
in the belly of the beast.
Yep.
Hey, check this out. I've got 3 different texts now that said the city council needs to take the Constitution class.
Oh, I agree. Every appointed and elected, or like I said last week, any NGO official, quote unquote.
Hey, check it out.
Well, we had those 2 sheriff candidates who came to the sheriff forum, and
the 2
that
sheriff
was just a little
candidates-
piece of it.
Yes.
The 2 sheriff candidates that are running for sheriff took it.
I think it should be mandatory that all public servants take it as expressed by our founders, so they know what the heck.
Oh, I thought you were going a different place with that.
You know, if I was the county sheriff, and I'm not running, I would send all my deputies to the class.
Yeah.
Because
well, I'll tell you,
it's so
Pierce,
beneficial.
Jeff Pierce said he would be doing that, and Brandon Barnes, who was the other, they're both really awesome candidates for sheriff. We're not going to go wrong with either one of them. Mm-hmm. So either Jeff Pierce or Brandon Barnes, they're excellent sheriffs, and they both took that class. They took the sheriff and the citizen course. Were there all day.
And I would develop a posse and make sure every posse member attended the course. You know, I mean, it would be beautiful to see government ran like it was written out.
Intended to.
Yes. I don't think we've ever seen it in our lifetime.
No.
Yeah.
We never have.
We're
I don't think our
Not in my
I don't
We're
think our
awful
fathers
young
saw
here.
it. Yeah, I don't think our parents saw it.
Yeah.
You know, World War I and World War II came along, and it's been a series of wars ever since.
Yes. And we're pounding at the door for another war,
That's right,
maybe.
yes.
I hope not.
All right, so check it out, guys. We're wrapping up. District 5. Are we in agreement, Mitzler?
Absolutely.
Missler. Yes.
Missler?
Yeah.
Yes, I like him.
I think that's the one for District 5.
Missler's.
And
Yeah.
that's Yuba County. District 1,
Vasquez.
Andy Vasquez.
Andy Vasquez, I mean, that's a slam dunk.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking.
Kind of no-brainer for both. Yuba County's a no-brainers. Those are easy.
Yeah, Yuba County's kind of got it going on. I mean,
And we'll
it's gonna be an easy
find
vote.
out about Sutter County here tomorrow night.
Yep, and I don't want to. That's why I'm not even asking about Sutter County. And Sutter County, honestly, my opinion, sheriffs. I think we got two of the best candidates we can get, and one of them will be sheriff, and not too really concerned with it.
Jeff Pierce
Yep.
or
And
Brandon
Brandon
Barnes.
Either one of them is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I've been giving money to both sides of the fence just because the fact is, you know what? I really don't care, and I want them to have a good time running, have some good parties, and I'm going to go to both. I like them both, and it's a good time to just hang out with the new sheriff. One of them's going to be it, so hang out with them.
Remember, too, you can always nullify. When you're in the courtroom, you can judge on the law and the case.
Just
Yes.
a little,
Sorry.
Check it out.
Yes.
All right, here we
Nullify.
go. That's it, guys. We got to turn it over. Have a good week, guys. We'll
God bless everybody.
see you out there running around.
Yes.
God bless the USA.